Have you ever had one of those days where you set a goal and you're really excited about it? It's like this incredible goal that you know you've been waiting for and it's right in line with who you are as a person, and you fail, before lunch even. I had a day like that yesterday. See, yesterday was One Day Without Shoes Day. It's an event put on every year by a nonprofit called Tom's Shoes. They're a really cool entrepreneurial philanthropic organization. And basically the idea is that for every shoe that you buy from them, they take part of the net profit and donate another pair of shoes to a child in need. So just one for one. Really cool. And they've already helped over 1 million kids. So really worthwhile. And so One Day Without Shoes is just kind of a way to raise some awareness around that and get people thinking about it, start some new conversations. And so this year they were shooting for 1 million people taking part. I don't know if they hit that goal or not, but I wanted to be one of them. And so I failed before 8 a.m., which is early. Like, I didn't even want to get up that early, but, important things to do, so you know how it is. Basically, I'd spent the night at a friend's house, and I had 3.5 miles to walk to get home. It was cold, the ground was like bumpy, and you can really you don't notice it's bumpy until you're going barefoot. And so I went out and I was gonna try really hard to do all 3.5 miles. Oh yeah, and I had a 40-pound backpack. So yeah, I made it 2 blocks. Okay, and that was really tough. So first of all, I realized that I'm an overprivileged white American with like baby feet here that are totally not up for the real world. But the other thing is, it got me thinking about the power of failure and why there's value there. See, I believe that failure, every time you fail, it provides a chance for 2 really positive things that can become a part of who you are. And first thing, obviously, is just compassion. I mean, you might have this idea, you might have this understanding that there are a lot of kids in other countries that end up having to walk miles every day to bring back water for their families. And it's just, it's one of their responsibilities. And you have got kids 6 to 8 years old who don't have shoes, who have to make these epic journeys every single day just to bring back water. In fact, there's a band I was helping out, I've been helping out, the Bantus band down in Portland. And I was talking to Love Neswesa, the lead singer, and that she was telling me stories about growing up in Zimbabwe, and that's what was going on. She was one of those people making those walks. And, it's over here in America, we're so privileged, and we have this idea that oh yeah, there's people struggling, okay, that makes sense. Well, I gotta tell you, after 2 blocks, and I had to whip out my awesome $80 5-finger toe shoes, and then I was fine again walking the rest of the way. It really makes you think. And so whatever your goal is that you've been waiting on setting and you've been putting off because you're afraid of failure, go for it, because the very first thing it's going to do is going to give you compassion for the other people out there in the world who are struggling with this problem. And that compassion, that can fuel your ability to help change other people's lives, help coach, just step up and make a difference, whatever it is. So if you're looking to exercise, if you're looking to diet, even if it's never quite worked out before, even if you're not sure you're going to be able to live up to it, just go for it. It's worth it. And the other thing, of course, and this is another thing I've been thinking about, because as some of you know, I've been doing a 90-day 100% raw challenge, and I was going to try and do P90X during that time as well. A little bit ridiculous, a little bit crazy, I know, I totally failed. I went a week doing P90X. But that also made me think, because just the act of trying and the act of setting that down in print, in motion, even though I didn't live up to it in the time frame that I'd set, that energy stays with you. And as long as you don't get discouraged, and as long as you don't label yourself as someone who can't, you can just change it to, okay, I wasn't able to right now. And you can always work and live up to it and end up moving forwards towards where you're going to go. So if you've been waiting to start a new eating plan or a new diet and exercise plan, or if you want to join in on One Day Without Shoes and you're not sure how it's going to work, just jump in. Just do it. It sets good energy, it's worthwhile, and it's really important. And by the way, this whole idea of failures and the positive power behind them comes from my good friend, Emily. Thank you, Emily. Over at puttylike.com. I highly recommend you go over there, follow her, subscribe, follow her on Twitter. Absolutely one of the coolest people I know. So definitely check her out. And the last thing, another thing that got me thinking about failure is how sometimes it can bring about ideas that can lead to good that you might not have even imagined, just as long as you get moving. Because I think the real failure is if you don't try anything at all. So I got moving, I failed after 2 blocks, but since I tried that, I was thinking, my birthday's on April 18th, and I kind of missed the boat with the one day without shoes, and maybe you did too. So let's do a follow-up campaign. You know, if you didn't do the one day without shoes yesterday, on April 18th, I challenge you to go a day without shoes, just to step in the shoes of some of those kids out there who don't have the same opportunities that you do. If you get involved in a conversation, tell them about Tom's shoes, check it out yourself. And I'm turning 25, and I don't know, if you happen to need shoes, it'd be really cool if this ended up generating 25 pair of shoes for kids out there. So that's all I got for now. Just absolutely get moving. Think about who you want to be as a person and live with passion. Namaste, everyone.